Bonjour à tous and welcome to French for a Day. In today's video we're talking about runway beauty secrets and how we can adapt the gorgeous looks of the runway models to our daily life. Think about this gorgeous, flawless, beautiful, glowing skin, beautiful hair. We're going to be talking about that in this video. This is not going to be an old school makeup tutorial. It is going to be quite relaxed as all of my makeup tutorials, because we are friends. So jump in the comment section, let me know what are some of your makeup and beauty secrets. I know that there are some makeup artists that are watching my videos, and I always look forward to read their comments because they are usually sharing incredible makeup secrets and beauty secrets. The topic for this video is beauty secrets, not makeup secrets. So that's why we are including hair as well. And I'm gonna start with the hair and then we're moving on to the makeup secrets. So for hair, I think that we've all seen this beautiful, gorgeous hair that the models have. Of course, they have their tips and tricks, but what I would suggest and what I would advise you to do, if you're planning to style your hair with heat like I did today, I used basically a curling iron to style my hair and to get these curls. Every time before I actually use heat on my hair, whether it's going to be curls, beach waves, or I'm going to straighten my hair, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to give my hair some extra care and attention. And I usually use a special washing kind of routine, let's say hair wash routine. So I'm always going to use something to support the health of my hair when I'm planning to use styling tools, because I want my hair to be quite shiny and also it's quite long. One thing that I often notice among the beauty community, among friends of mine, is that they're going to buy huge amount of skincare products. They're going to have like a whole desk full of skincare products, but when it comes to hair, they're only going to be good with the shampoo and conditioner. And I want to normalize actually hair care. I currently use OLAPLEX, and this is a two-step program that I use. I keep repurchasing these products. Then for shampoo, I'm using L'Occitane. These are actually repurchases from the Black Friday because I took advantage and I repurchased my favorite hair care, skincare products during the Black Friday sales. And one last thing, a beauty secret if you want, that I'm going to share. I wouldn't invest in super expensive hair styling tools, you know, the ones that are $500, $600 to $1,000. I don't use fancy styling tools. I invest in hair care because it's more important, believe it or not. I think that it's more important than super expensive styling tools. No, I don't think that they work well. Of course, if you have them, go ahead, use them. My styling tools are quite basic, but then I use a lot of products in my hair to keep it healthy and shiny. And again, the products that I use currently for this hairstyle are going to be in the description. And now I'm ready to move on to the makeup part of this video. What is runway makeup? Runway makeup should be flawless and it should be super quick because it's done for the runway. So makeup artists have to work sometimes, and very often actually, they work with 40, 50 girls. And even though they are in their early 20s or late teenagers, and they have this beautiful canvas with this plump, beautiful skin, still it's quite challenging to do the makeup of 40, 50 girls in just some minutes and under all the pressure that's going on. So that's why I think that it's very useful to get some tips from the runway models and from Runway Beauty Secrets, because they are quite effective also for working professionals. We're just going to adapt them a little bit. Now, inspired by the Chanel runway fashion shows, we are going to be using one of the most used products on the runway Chanel's shows, and this is going to be the Le Beige Water Fresh Tint, the Eau de Teint. This is the ultimate product to create this glass skin effect, this absolutely glowing, beautiful skin. It's a product that works on everyone. I personally have to mix two colors. Disclaimer: you don't have to use the products that I have. You don't have to buy all of the products that I have here. Have a look at your makeup collection. I'm sure that you already own something similar. So just follow the process. It's not about the makeup products. The runway makeup is all about the techniques. So when it comes to the glass skin effect, use a foundation that is lightweight because we still want to see some of the skin. We don't want to create a mask. We want something that is light and that is glowing. So I'm going to be using the Water Fresh tint now, and mixing the two colors to create my customized shade. For this foundation application, if you do not have the Water Fresh tint, I would suggest you to use something very light, like a tinted moisturizer. You can use something that you can apply very quickly with your hands. Currently, I'm using brush from Refra. This one is my favorite for foundation. I love this one because it's big and it gets the face covered so quickly. In less than a minute. It gets this very perfected look. Going to need a little bit more of the deepest shade actually. Foundation brush is going to be essential for the flawless foundation application. This one comes in a set with two other brushes that I'm going to use as well. That's why I think the set is quite convenient. I'm going to list it in the description, but you can use your own brushes again. Now, I'm using this foundation brush and then a damp sponge. Once I've applied the Water Fresh tint, I'm going to push the foundation with this sponge because this removes any kind of streaks and it makes the complexion absolutely flawless, and it also helps the foundation to become one with the skin. This is the first beauty secret. It doesn't matter what kind of foundation you're using. You may not use the Water Fresh tint, you may use a classic foundation. You need a sponge and just push into your skin. Don't drag, push. That's how you're going to make the foundation one with the skin, and any kind of streaks, any kind of places where you might have texture are going to be smoothed. I'm going to be using the smaller brush that's in the set with a little bit of Water Fresh tint. Mix it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use this one as concealer because the Water Fresh tint is actually water-based. And it works beautifully under the eyes and also a little bit on the eyelids I'm going to use. And then again, I'm pushing the product into the skin. Next, concealer. Make sure to apply concealer, and I like to apply a lighter shade right here in the inner corner of the eye and also a little bit on the eyelid. I'm using something that is quite lightweight, then I'm going to press it into place and use also my beauty sponge to press into place. I like to work with very thin layers here, but we are going to need some light. And by applying concealer right here in the inner corner of the eye, we are lifting the shadow and we are recreating the youthful look of a 20-year-old runway model, or at least we are getting closer. So you need a small brush for here, for this part. And then we need a little bit of concealer also on the eyelids, or you can use an eyeshadow base. But for the inner corner of the eye, you have to use some concealer here because it opens up the eye, makes the look more youthful. Next step, brush and define the eyebrows. For filling the brows, you have a lot of different options of brow pencils, brow powders, brow gels. It all is going to depend on your preferences and on your brow structure. I'm using just a simple powder brow pencil from Floris's and some setting gel. We're moving on to eyes, and on the runway we're going to see all different kinds of looks. It all depends on the theme that they have, but today we're going to keep it simple because we want to customize the look to be work friendly and to be work appropriate. So we're going to take this minimalistic runway look. I'm going to be using one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. This eyeshadow palette didn't get a lot of attention, but it's so beautiful and I wanted to show it to you. It is from Dolce Gabbana and it's relatively new. This one is in number 3, Chrome Star, and the colors are stunning. The formula is so soft. It's very blendable, very easy to use from beginners. And what I love here is that you actually have a black color, which is very forgiving for aging eyelids. And if you want to look a little bit younger or want to define your eye quite quickly, black powder is always going to be much easier compared to any kind of eyeliner. This one I'm going to show you now. Taking this color with my finger, and as you can see, the moment I touch my eyelid, you can immediately see the color. I'm starting from the center of the eyelid and then I'm simply going to blend the color. This is going to be a very easy, very quick way to blend the eyeshadow and get even wash of color on the eyelids, because I'm getting most of the color in the middle of the eyelid, and this is going to help me to diffuse the color. So I'm not going to have harsh lines right here at the end or in the beginning. This is going to take just a few seconds. Taking a clean number 15 from Refra. That's what I like to use for blending. And I'm diffusing the color, making sure that I go also above the crease. Next, I'm taking this color with my finger, applying it right in the center, and then blend again. And I'm doing the exact same thing on the other eye. Here, if you have hooded eyes, it's very essential that the color should go also a little bit above the crease so that the color is going to be visible on your eyelids. I have deep set eyes, so colors are always going to be visible for me. But if you have hooded eyes, just make sure to blend the color, and as you're blending it, the shadow is going to go a little bit above the crease, this bone here. So you're aiming to go a little bit above the crease, so that you can see the color and it's going to be more flattering. I'm not sure if this brush still exists. I'm going to make sure to link it in the description if it does. This one is from Refra and it's the smallest, the thinnest, the finest brush that I have and that I have ever had. And I use it for the most beautiful and the easiest and the most elegant, invisible. And this is like a magic brush, eyeliner. So this one is number 34. I'm going to write it down in the description. I'm taking the matte black here. Have a look at this. I just wanted to show you how fine this is. But since this is powder, it's going to be a lot more forgiving on any kind of eye shape, especially aging eyelids. I'm going to use a small amount just to define the eye. Very close to the roots of the lashes. This very fine tip of the brush actually allows me to get in between the roots of the lashes, and it's going to create the illusion that I have more youthful, more thick lashes. When you're doing this, make sure to rest your elbows somewhere on a steady surface, and then take a little sponge. This one is just from powder that I have, because you're going to need to rest. It is going to be the easiest if you rest your hand also right here on your face. That's how your hand is going to be stable. Don't worry if you need any corrections, a Q-tip will do. It's makeup, so you can always clean it, start over. If you're in a hurry for work, you can skip this step. It's absolutely not necessary. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes and we're back to skin. Before I apply mascara, we're moving back to my skin. I am going to mattify my skin just to make it a little bit more airbrushed. I am going to be using the Dior Radiant Filter powder. I really like it, but you can use any kind of powder that you have. Powder has to be quite invisible, and I do recommend using powder because we are adapting this look for day life, and in real life things happen. It's no joke when you go to work, so you want to make sure that your makeup is really set and it's going to stay into place. Now I'm going to take the smallest brush from the set, take a little bit of the powder and set my under eye area. Okay friends, and now you can probably see the effect. This part of my face is actually quite poreless and airbrushed, whereas this here, I still have some glow. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to make sure to apply plenty of mascara in the roots of the lashes. And look at the difference. Now let's do the other eye as well. And moving on to a key product for every runway look, and this is going to be highlighter. I'm going to be using the Dior Forever Glow Maximizer in the pink shade. This one is quite easy to apply. This one is quite easy to apply and can be used with fingers. If you build it up, it can also work as a blush, and it actually, the best thing here is that it dries. Apply it on top of, you can apply it on top of foundation alone even, or even on top of powder like I'm doing now. I love this highlighter because it doesn't have glittery particles. At the same time, it gives this instant glow to the skin. You can customize the glow as much as you like, but since we're creating the runway look, I am going to go a little bit heavier on the highlighter. I'm going to apply a little bit more, but you can tone this down for office look. But look at the difference. I may apply a little bit here as well. We're aiming for the runway look, so that's why I'm not going to be using a blush. I'm actually going to use this one instead of a blush and a highlighter, 2-in-1, because it has this rosy glow, and as I told my head, in real life it does look like a little bit of a blush and a highlighter, but I'm going to use a little bit of contour. This one is quite soft, and it's again from Dior. It is in the shade Diorissimo, and I'm going to use this on a soft brush, take it on the back of my hand, and I'm lightly going to use it to sculpt my face. So a little bit on my nose. And the whole idea here is to be barely there, barely visible. Next, we're moving on to lips, and if we're talking about the actual backstage runway makeup look, lips are usually going to be very particular. It may be just a lip gloss, or they may have a certain idea. They may apply a little bit of lip gloss and then eyeshadow, glitters. We're going to customize the look to be suitable for work, and I'm going to show you my tricks. So I'm going to take one of my favorite lip liners. This one is in 310 Beige Tulle from Dior, and I'm going to sculpt my lips lightly. So I'm going to use 3 products. I'm going to show you first, and then I'm going to use them. So this one is the lip liner that I'm going to be using in Beige Tulle. And then I'm going to use a combination of 2 colors. One is going to be Dior Rouge on Stage in 120 Iconic Rose. And the other lipstick is going to be again from Dior, but this is from the classic Dior Rouge line. I can't tell exactly what the name of this color is. I'm going to write it on the screen because I have the refill in a different bullet. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that in the screen. So let me go ahead and show you how I like to use this lip combo for work. I'm starting with the lip liner from Dior in Beige Tulle, and I'm going to overline my lips lightly just to create the contours of my lips that I want to have. The lip liner has a soft nude color that is close to my lip color, and I'm going to use it to overline lightly my lips. Do not line the ends of the lips. Don't go here because it's going to look weird every time when you decide to overline the lips. Then I'm going to follow with a very thin layer of Dior On Stage in 120 in Iconic Rose. This is a luminous lip color. The idea here is just to create a shape for my lips, to add a little bit of hydration, and I am going to press also with my finger. A lot of you might have heard one of the most popular lipstick tricks of makeup artists is to apply lipstick with your fingers. If you apply lipstick with your fingers, especially if it's a red lip, it becomes one with the lips, because somehow it's just like with the foundation. You're pressing the product, pushing the product into the skin, and it becomes one. It becomes a lot more natural. So I'm going to make sure that I have a very thin layer of the luminous lipstick, and then I'm going to follow with the matte lipstick from Dior. This is going to create a very long-lasting lip color. The key here is to keep the layers very thin. This is going to make the lipstick very long-lasting, lightweight on the lips. When applying the first layer of the lipstick, I would advise you to rub your lips together, because this is going to bring some blood circulation to the lips, and it makes them a little bit puffier, a little bit bigger, just because of the friction that it creates. You might skip this step if you have quite sensitive lips, but I find that for me personally, it makes a little bit of a difference. I hope that you're going to try these makeup tricks, and I hope that you're going to recreate the look with your own makeup products. Now I just have to let my hair down, and this always gets stuck right here. And then usually at this point, I'm actually going to go ahead and fix my curls with fingers and with hands. I think I might not do that now because I quite like it. It is quite messy, but I quite like it. But a mandatory step for me is going to be, where is the hair oil? Once that I've styled my hair, I am going to use again a hair oil. This one is new. I have actually, this is my repatches. Okay, there it is. So I'm just going to have a few drops at this point, just to add a little bit of shine to my curls. I'm going to be using that much of the oil. Oops. Running all the way, and I'm actually first going to rub it between my hands, also in between my fingers, because I'm going to run my fingers through the hair. And I actually love the OLAPLEX oil when my hair is styled because it is the most lightweight one, and I know that it's not going to mess up with the curls, and at the same time it's going to add some shine to my hair without weighting it down and without removing the volume. This is one of the best for when my hair is already styled. And this is going to be the finished look. Thank you so much for spending time with me and for watching my video. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to leave me a comment. I would love to know your thoughts, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.